Hello Taurus, I'm Melanie Florence and this is Hot Tea for the Soul. I'm doing a reading for August because here we are. It is the horse's birthday. Happy birthday to the horses, right? We're going to do a general read. I'm going to build up some stuff. I'm going to do a bit of insight for our four beings. Our spiritual being, our fire being, our mental being, our air being, our intellect and how we communicate, our emotional being, our water, and how our emotional connections are going and how we're connecting with ourselves emotionally, and last but not least how our temple is, how our physical being, what's going on in the physical world for us. So that's how I'm going to build up this reading for this August. I'm also going to build it up. It's going to take about 20 minutes. Sit in. I hope you enjoy. Let's do. All right, let's do. Let's try a card from this deck and a card from that deck. Let's see, we get a little bit of energy first, what we got, and then just one. Yes, please. Oh, stability, earth spirit. All right, Taurus, that's beautiful. All right, for the rock and roll, like a bull of the three earth signs. You guys are like a bull in a china shop sometimes. This is about stability. You've got stability around you in your world, right? Creating in your physical world. That's nice. That is nice. Start for Taurus this month. Creating stability around you in your material realm. Might be friends, families, your nest. Ooh. And you're seeking answers, or you're getting answers, or you're given answers. There's a bit of wisdom being given in here. You can see birds in here. Anytime there's birds, we're talking about a lot of information, right? So you might be talking a lot to people. You might be finding answers to stuff that you didn't even know you had questions for. All right. Nice, Taurus. What else have we got in the build-up for this month? Self-preservation, thick skin, right? It's about self-preservation. You don't always have to put yourself out there. Know when to retreat. Know when to have a bit of a thick skin. Know when not to take people's opinions on board, that's their opinions. You're allowed to preserve yourself. And sometimes, as I said, it does talk about having a little bit of a thick skin, not letting other people's opinions get through to you. It's their opinion. But also knowing when to retreat, and that's not your battle. Because the goanna is a nice big Australian animal if you don't know what that is. It's a big ass goanna. Sorry, should have said that. Big ass goanna. Right, and they do have a thick skin and they shed it every once in a while. And it really does talk about, I guess, a learning curve of not taking on board stuff that's not yours. That's not your energy. Good. Right. Creating stability, getting answers, bit of self-preservation in there, looking after yourself perhaps, right? Maybe you've retreated a bit to look after yourself with that. So I'm going to do 3 cards for each from the Greenwood to start with, and then we're going to build up with a couple of other decks. Stay in with me, Taurus. What do we got this month? All right, this is for your spiritual being. First, we're going to look at our fire, our passion, our spirit. All right, our intuition. All right, this is of the senses. 5 is always of the senses. This is emotion. So we're dancing in the rivers of life here. You're really enjoying it. Spiritually, you're reaching out within your senses, right? Perhaps it could be intoxicating. It does warn about not drinking too much inside of here. It does have ecstasy on the card, so be careful. But it really is about reaching out and enjoying stuff with your senses there, right? Emotionally enjoying it through your spiritual being, because that's what we're talking about. Ooh, might be a bit of jealousy in there. There might be 3-party conversations going on. There might be something about needing to heart in the matter. This is a spiritual conversation that we're talking about how to enjoy life. There, Taurus. All right, one more for the spiritual being, for Taurus, for August. What have we got? One more for Taurus, for the spiritual being. All right, because we're talking about happiness. Getting to the heart of the matter is this, because you double up, right? All right, so there might be somebody who's talking jealous about the relationship that you have, about your spiritual quest, about the passion, about the passions that you have. This could be lustful. There might be conversations that are going on, but it's also about your happiness in here, because you double up once you have this conversation in here. Taurus, that's awesome. Alright, so that's your spiritual, your lust, your spirit, your passion, alright, your drive. That's what's going on in your drive. What's going on in your mental being, Taurus? Finding answers, finding stability, thick skin, here we are. What's going on in the mental being, Taurus? 1, 2, one more. Let's take those 2 to start with. Oh, your mental being. All right, you're focusing your passion with your mental being. You're really focusing on what you want. Where do you want it to go? Like, what actually lights up the heart inside of you? Really driven stuff. What drives and lights up the heart of you? You're doing that from a part of retract though. This is where you take your light in and you become a little bit of hermit. So you're going through a learning curve where you're looking for answers and the stability and stuff, right? But also looking at the hearth fire, the strength of our spiritual being inside of here. And just this hearth fire that we have right here, this is your mental processes, right? You're pulling back in, that's that light there. That's what you take within, you're taking it in to your house, right? Alright, so you're driven by passions into a hermitive stage where you're probably looking for answers, because that's what we're talking about in our processes over here. And we did mention mental and mental, right? Alright, what drives you? What are your passions? What are you driven forward to? And you're taking time to think about that, because it's a slow and steady wins the pace. These are two very Virgo earthy cards, right? Alright, so this is a nice earthy, slow and steady wins the pace. So you're thinking about what you want in the long run out of your passions, right? And you're taking time to create that and work out what that actually is, Taurus. And that is your mental processes. That's your mental thought-based part. Alright, let's look at your emotional being. Ooh, pop straight out. Ooh, there's a message of cups. This is a nice young knight. It's love. It's a loving energy. He is moving forward. He really wants to talk about love. It's not a king. It's not, you know, but this guy's on his way. Like, he really emotionally is trying to be, and is a knight. He gets up and he keeps going. So that's your heart. That's their heart. That's in your emotional being. That's in your emotional space. Is a nice communicative knight. He's communicating the heart, emotions. Right, and where the world's going, right? What do you hold on to? What do you let go? That's where you're at. What makes your fabric? What do you weave out of all of this? So there's a movement forward for you in your heart, right? And you're willing to take luck, Wheel of Fortune, right? Wheel of Fortune, ready to take luck in your heart space on this night. All right, one more. Taurus, you can rest your mind. Right, so you're not worried. Whatever this is here in this spiritual, this is about perhaps even maybe achieving happiness. What do you do to get that, right? People might be jealous of your happiness in your spiritual space. Right? This is really about taking a rest. So in your emotional space, you let the wheel turn. You've got this emotional, like, Knight of Cups in there, Taurus, who's charging forward and you're moving forward. Right, you're willing to let Lady Luck spin. And with this on top, you sort of say, I can rest my mind. I don't need to think about it. I'm not milling through all of the what ifs, what can be. I'm really just in a nice restful state when it comes to that. Trusting your intuition in your emotional space. What's going on in your temple, in your physical space? Where'd I put the Greenwood? Right, what is going on in your physical space, Taurus, for this month? Endurance. You got endurance. You're in a nice safe spot. You know, and this is about sitting by and watching the storm go by. So if you're in lockdown like we are in Sydney, this is actually watching the storm go by. Right, and that's your physical world. And this may relate to our hermit space as well, taking your time to go introspectively. Because you got it. What else have we got? For the temple, but it is a spot where we get to, you know, we again, of the senses, we can just sit and we can endurance and watch the storm go past us. If we've protected ourselves, which is what the 4 is, we really sit in a spot where we just wait for a transition. Right. You know, while you're going through this, you're going through a transition of your mind. You're going to be, you know, it's growing older. It is stepping forward. It is crossing the bridge, you know, and we go from one spot to another. This is a transition in your mind where you're moving across. So you're making a movement from a space where you were, and it's a new growth pattern to move on with the 6. Whoa. Right. This is a fertile dreaming space. It does talk of illusion. It does talk about things being wishy-washy. You sometimes need to surrender, right, and find your dream space inside of you. So sometimes you don't know where you're going, all right? There's a whole heap of unanswered questions inside of there. But this is sort of a dream, elusive dream space where it's organic and you're fertile and you get to think about what that is on an emotional level, right? So you're having this transition and you don't know exactly where that's going yet. That's fine. We're going to keep exploring. All right, so I'm going to layer up a few different cards over again. So let's go. Let's go with the lights here over the top. Let's go back to our spiritual being over here with the ecstasy, the 5 of Cups. There's 3 of arrows, and then we double up with the 10 of Cups this month. All right, so we're going to double up if we have these conversations. So there might be, spiritually, a conversation that you need to have about maybe the party, maybe what goes on at the party, Like, and what's going on with your senses in here, because it's a spiritual quest we're talking about here, what your spiritual being is going through, because you want to double up and have these conversations. All right. 1. What do we got? Oh, because we're looking for fulfillment. You're looking for fulfillment to come out of this on a spiritual level, right? You're looking forward to what's coming in. What's the next part of the boat? What's the next part of the adventure? All right, so we're looking out there. It's like, what's coming in? What do we got? We're looking for fulfillment from this. Okay. And we've got the Page Cup. So this is sort of immature. Like if you're talking about the Knight, he's at one step, and then you've got the King. He's really settled with his emotions. But this is the messages of love. So there's probably maybe jealous. People are jealous of the way that you guys communicate together, what your relationship, what your emotional space inside of you. But this jealousy is related to communications of love, little like show of love. And you want fulfillment from that. What's this happiness? I mean, we know what happiness is. What are we doubling up for? Because I like that we're doubling up. You have this conversation about expression of love and how love is expressed. And you double up and you get happiness. All right. And that's not to say that somebody is not in the middle of this here. All right, because that really is in the middle of this, like this, you know, you party and then there's this jealousy aspect and then happiness. You can't say that it's not in the middle, something's not in the middle. But it's conversations that need to be had. Heart of the matter. One more. Because you're on a spiritual quest. This is good. Alright, this is spark of inspiration, power. Where does it go? Where does this spark of inspiration go? Where does the flow of your inspiration go? And that's what you're actually talking about here when you're looking about defining your happiness. You need to listen to your intuition in this book, because you are looking fulfillment out of these conversations that you need to have, right? And because your happiness is aligned with the desires of your inspiration, right? And your passion. Power. It's power energy in here. It's good energy, Taurus. Alright, that's your spiritual. What else we got going on in your mental? Hearthfire. What have we got going on with your mental? This retreat with the Hearthfire and the wolf. One more for Taurus there. Ah, there you are. Alright, so this is very fertile energy. This is again very Virgo energy in here. You're tracking back. You're looking at your power. You're looking at your power as yourself and how you apply that to the world in a loving way, right? And the strength of this, and it's your passion. So inside of your mental being, this is a very strong place for you to be. And you're looking at that. You're looking at your fertility of this. We've got another moon space in here, but this Empress is a real strong. She's all queens put together. And you're hermiting because you're a little bit bored with yourself. We didn't leave that sitting there. You're hermiting because you're looking for that bit, that one cup, the cup filling in there. Because you know it's a long way. So you're hermiting in here, you're hermiting in this space. This is more of an inspired space for you, and it's a more grounded space for you. We were looking at that from the beginning. You're looking at stability. Alright, but the slow and steady wins a pace. Knight over here. This Knight over here. It's looking at longevity, and again we're looking at longevity. So this fertile space, and you're pulling and retracting into yourself, looking at what your Hearthfire is. Right, looking at what your Hearthfire is, because we have this really fertile space, right? And you're looking for abundance, and you're looking for a home, and you're looking for children, and this is a slow and steady win the pace. So you're retracting into yourself. It's not all about emotions. This is no drama llama situation, right? All right. We'll come back. We'll come back. All right, so we are talking about your emotional space again. Let's go, Taurus. All right, with this Knight, we're thinking about what you're putting in. Like, this is about investing in the future. This is about planting seeds for the future. This is about making, you know, the right investment. Rather, you know, where do you put your time? Where do you put your energy? Where do you put your money? Where are you going to put your resources in your life? And so this is about like making stability inside of here and the strength inside of this. So this Knight has the prospects. This Knight has the prospects. And so here, with this Wheel of Fortune, you're walking away. You're walking away from a lot. You're walking away maybe from, you know, things that you were and didn't, but there's something new inside of here, and you know it, right? And so you're happy to walk away. You're happy to have a rebirth. You let go of all the old bones of yourself, and you walk away with pride. right? And you know who you are, and you're letting go of that emotional attachment because you've got an investment in the future. All right. It could be the other way, that you're letting this roll on from this person. That this person was emotional and that investments and you are letting the Wheel of Fortune walk away. But either way, that's what that is, right? In your emotional life. One more for their emotional life. Taurus, what have we got for this month? See? You're not thinking. You got the willpower. We've got two come out. We've got willpower and you're making your dreams come true in your emotional state. So you've got the power of your will and the strength to climb and the tenacity to get over all the obstacles that you can come in there. And this is, again, is a 5. It's in your senses. So you're testing your spirit through your senses and you're really coming over those overcoming obstacles in that. And look, we've got the star. All right, wish fulfillment in there. So we really got a lot of wish fulfillment in there. You're resting your mind because you're trusting your spirit and you're trusting dreams that come true. This looks good. Doesn't look like you're walking away. It looks like you're walking away from, you know, letting go of old threads of yourself that are no longer serving you, right? All right, 3 more for the practical physical being for your temple. So we're enduring this transition, and we don't know exactly where it's going, but we know that we're going through our own fertile space because we know that. All right, mentally you actually have a retract and make a little bit hermit space. All right, but there's something in your belly that is growing. All right, 2 more. Could be baby. This is very fertile, Virgo energy in there. All right, and preparing for baby. This could be mental space that you're going through, that this is inspired. That is actually baby energy sort of sitting there as well. Perhaps. All right, 3 for your, temple, our 3D world, our physical being. What have we got going on? So we're holding in this endurance. All right. And there's generosity and reciprocity around you. Like, and this is actually, and the exchange. So this is about being generous and charitable, and the world is charitable to you. There's abundant exchange in it all. And so inside of this spot, you're not feeling like you are being left outside alone. Again, we've got this Wheel of Fortune inside of this transition. So in this physical world, you know that you're going through a transitional space. But we're spinning the wheel and we're rolling the dice inside of here. Big world transition, and you know it. So you just stay in the boat, going across and making that transition. Right? You don't know where it's going, and we don't. When we're spinning this wheel, we don't know where it's going. But you don't feel unstable in here. Your endurance is fine. There's generosity inside of this situation. 1 more for the moon. What have we got to go with this moon for Taurus? What have we got for this moon for Taurus? Alright, there's a lot of generosity around you, Taurus. This is beautiful. So this is a really beautiful space where everybody's feeding each other. You know, this is where everybody is pouring into each other's cup. This is a play it forward moment in your life. So as much as this is the incantation and you don't know where this is growing to, there's illusion, you don't know where it's at, this is actually going, there's a generosity of soul around you, Taurus. All right, I'm going to give us 3 more soul cards. Let's see what we've got out of this over here. 3 more soul cards for you, Taurus. Let's try that again. I'm going to take the top one, just for shits and gigs. Let's try again. All right, Taurus. 2 more for Taurus. What do we got? 4 soul cards over the top. 2 and 3. You got a lot of transition going on here. Oh, that's a bushfire. That's nice. Clearing out stuff. Trust your intuition. You really need to have this conversation in the middle of here. Oh, we've got 2. 1 more for Taurus. Everything is stable. You're looking for answers. Just have a bit of a thick skin. Like, things are going through duration, and people are talking to heart. Maybe they're talking about your love and little messages of, and that's okay. You are seeking happiness. Taurus, what do we got left here for you? 3 soul cards for this month are comfort in the hearth. We've already spoken about the hearth in here. So we are in a comfort zone with this spot we're actually going to sit in. And this sort of has got a very endurance sort of spot to it as well. Rest your mind, Taurus. Let it roll. Roll with the punches. Maybe have the heartfelt conversations that need to be had. But you've really got your destination set on hearth fire. And then we've got bushfire, which is fun. Which is fury, which is your spirit, right? So this is taking on things with passion, and we are in Leo, so that's not surprising that you can take on things with passion. But be disciplined. Be disciplined with your time. Be disciplined with how you talk. Be disciplined with your conversations, right? With what you want to get out of this transition that you're going through when you're going through this rebirth. You really need to walk into it. You've got stability. You're looking for answers. Make sure you're just looking after yourself a bit, Taurus. I hope wherever you are safe and well, and I'll catch you on the flip side.